Welcome to EDU World Space.
Once again, welcome to a new problem. This time we're given, so we're given, these are different pieces of information that we're given. So we're given it's a short put that it's a track and field event, and the short put has a mass which we're going to call MS. It has a mass of 7.30 kilograms. And remember, with the short put, it's it's a shape like that, and you can imagine someone trying to throw it, from this is like a character, and they have like a short put right here, uh, and they want to throw it. Okay, so it has a mass of it has a mass of 7.3 kilograms, and also we're given that the speed or the velocity, which we're going to call initial velocity, of the short put, so VSI, is given as 15.0 meters per second. So that's the initial velocity of the short put is given as 15 meters per second. And then also we're told that the angle at which the short put is released, there's a specific angle that it happens, and that happens to be 40 degrees. So theta is 40 degrees. So we want to find the initial momentum in the x, or what we call the initial horizontal component of the momentum. And also we want to find the initial momentum on the y direction. Remember, momentum, if you can recall, is just the mass times the velocity. So in the x direction, if you have an object going that way at an angle of theta, it means that your velocity is vs initial cosine of theta. That's in the x direction. And then in the y direction, you have vs initial sine of theta. Okay, so that's what we have. And so the initial velocity in the, or rather, the initial momentum in the x becomes the mass of the short put times the velocity of the short put in the x direction. And that gives us the mass is 7.3 kilograms. And then the velocity is 15 meters per second. And we want to multiply that by cosine of theta. Theta in this case is given as 40 degrees. So when you plug in those numbers for the momentum, you get 7.3 times 15 times cosine of 40. And so we end up with 83. So this is the initial momentum in the x. So we end up with P initial in the x is 83.88 kilogram meter per second. That's the momentum in the x direction. On the next page, we're going to do the momentum in the y direction. Remember, the momentum in the y direction is the mass of the short put times the velocity, the initial velocity in the x direction, which is the initial velocity in the y direction, which is VSI sine of theta. And we do know that the mass is 7.30 kilograms. We want to multiply that by the velocity, which is 15 meters per second, and then sine of 40 degrees, which is sine of theta. So this one becomes 7.3 times 15 times sine of 40, and that gives us 70.39 kilogram meters per second. That's the information we're given. So this problem wanted us to get the initial momentum in the x, and then also the initial momentum in the y. And so what happens is you have to resolve the components of the velocity into x and y components. You're given the initial velocity as vsi, and then you resolve that into the x component and also the y component, and then you use mass and velocity, which is a product, to get the momentum. Now, in the x direction, remember, momentum is the velocity is in terms of vsi cosine theta, and then in the y direction, the momentum on the other page is in terms of um, um, the momentum is in terms of vsi sine of theta. So we resolve the components, the component velocity, but the masses stay the same, and then we get the final solutions for the initial momentum in the x and the initial momentum in the y. I hope you enjoyed the problem. Feel free to send any questions or comment, and have a wonderful day. Okay, thanks.